Hey guys, TeamNoSkill here, bringing you another deck profile. This deck is not mine, it is a friend of mine, so it's going to be on his Ridiculous deck. So our starter is Peach Orchid Maiden Elmi, or Elmi, I don't know how to pronounce that. So skill GB1, put in the soul. If you have Vanguard, it was Ridiculous as your Vanguard, or Heart, doesn't matter. Choose one of your grade 2 or greater units, search your deck for a copy of it, call it to rigor, and at the end of your turn, you put it into your soul. So we're running 2 of that starter because it's really good. And it's a free skill. You don't counterblast, just put it in the soul. Cost is having ridiculous. Next, we're running 4 of the crits. When your Vanguard attacks, if you have Vanguard with Ahsha, it gets plus 5,000 and you draw a card. 4 heals. 4 stands. Maiden of Daybreak. So skill. Put on top of your deck. So choose 2 of your units with the same card names, and they get plus 5,000 power, and then shove these back in. Then we're running 4 Cosmo Pixie Elizabeth. So I've never read this card before. When your other copy of itself is placed in a regard, choose up to 5 copies of itself. They get Act GB1. It's free. Choose a normal unit from your drop zone. Choose a card. If you chose a card, choose up to 4 cards of the same card name as that unit from your drop zone. Return them to your deck, and return this to your deck, and then you draw a card and shuffle. So those are the triggers. I don't want to go to explanation because I did not understand that effect at all. 4 Stride Fathers. I think it's really even better about these now because since they say Ahsha, I'm pretty sure it's Ahsha. Oh no, Ridiculous. You can search for any of the Ahsha Grade 3s, the new ones or the old ones. So on placement, reveal a Grade 3 in your hand, search your deck for a Ridiculous card from your deck and add it to your hand, and then discard a card. And while it's in your hand, it gets plus 2 grade. We're running 4. Well, he's running 4 Maiden of Sweet Berry. Choose up to 1 of your units not named itself. Search your deck for up to 1 card name, the same card as that unit, and call it to regard. And return your deck, and then you return the grade 1 to your deck and shuffle your deck. And it's all free so far. Nothing's been counterblasting, which is really nice. 4 Flipper PGs, copy of itself on flip damage when you perfect guard. All the grade 1s. Yep. And he's only running 12 grade 1s. Next, for the grade 2s, we are running 4 Green Shot Elf. So skill is GB1 has Bloom. When the other Green Shot Elf is placed on regard, choose up to 5 of your Green Shot Elves, and they get plus 2k power and boost. Next, we're running 4 Ideal Maiden Dirtia. It has 2 effects. So 1 continuous. When this card is placed on regard, choose up to 1 of your units. If you have a Vanguard who is Ridiculous in its card name, that unit and this unit get are the same name until end of turn. Oh no, it's permanent. Even if the card, yeah, that's continuous. So GB1, above GB, auto regard. Choose a card from your hand, the same card name as the unit in your drop zone, and put it on top of your deck. At the beginning of your main phase, if you have a Vanguard is Ridiculous in its card name, you pay the cost if you return this unit to your hand and shuffle your deck. So the second effect is just to reset the first continuous skill, so you can change the names. Next, he is running 4 Sunwheel Maiden Runny. Has Bloom, and I don't think she has Bloom either. No, the other grade 2 does not have Bloom. So her skill is when your other copy of itself is placed onto Rigard, choose up to 5 Rigards that have the same name as her, and they all get plus 1,000 power for each of your units with the Bloom ability, so it gets really big. And a very nice skill that's continuous is in Rigard and deck, she is treated as the same name. She's also regarded as Summer's Height Flower Maiden Marjacuda. Who the heck is that?
Marjuka.
Who's that?
It's a grade 3.
Oh, okay. Next, we're running 4. Oh. So those are all the grade 2s. 12 grade 2s as well, as long as they're grade 1s. We're running 4 of the new Ahsha. He bought some boxes and he pulled really good, as you can tell. So skill is the exact same skill as Ahsha. For the on stride, it's you Soul Blast 1. So counter on Soul Blast 1. Choose 1 of your units when your unit strides. Call it to deck, and it gets boost at the end of turn. And at the end of each turn, you can choose a card from your hand and call it to regard. So that means at the end of your turn, end of your opponent's turn. And her GB2 is different from the original Ahsha. So when a unit of the same, when you call a unit to rearguard and it has the same card name as the unit you have on field, soul charge one and unflip one. So good card. Next we're running Summer's Height. He's running 4 Summer's Height Flower Maiden Margiga. So Soul Blast 1, when one of your units is chosen for an effect with a Bloom ability, you can Soul Blast 1 to draw a card. So that's pretty nice. So before it dies, you can draw a card. And that's a Vanguard ability. Next skill is Vanguard Rearguard. When your other copy of itself is placed on Rearguard, choose one of your units until end of turn it gets plus 3k, and if that unit is named the Grade 2 version, if it's her, she gets, when she hits, draw a card and soul charge 1. So that's the main deck. Now we're going to get on to the strikes. Next, he's running 3 Flower Prince of Perpetual Summer Verano. So Soul Blast 1, choose a face-on card from your G-Zone and turn it face up. And choose a card from your hand and your drop zone and return it to your deck. Excuse me. When this unit is placed on Vanguard, you may pay the cost if you choose 2 cards from your hand, call them to separate rearguard, and choose the same number of rearguards as the number of face-up cards as itself face-up in the G-Zone, and search your deck for up to 1 card for each of those units, and call them to separate rearguard and shuffle your deck. And the units caught by her effect get boost till end of turn. Next, he does not have all 4 Ahsha strides, but he's going to get them eventually. 2 Ahsha, Dream Spinning Ahsha. So skill is Act. A Persona Flip. Until end of turn, this unit gets Act once per turn. Choose one of your rearguards. And if you have 2 or more rearguards of the same card name, all of your units in the front will get plus 5,000. Then, if the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone is 2 or more, choose up to one of your units and search your deck for up to 1 card of the same card name as that unit and call it to rearguard. And that unit gets plus 2k. So it's like the Alt Model Stride, but better because it's not on placement. And you can choose when it goes off, so you can set up and then blow up your opponent. And then next we have 2 of the GR Ahsha Stride. Glorious Bloom. So I think this is the first card that counterblasts, besides the Grade 3 and the... I think it's the first card that counterblasts that we've seen so far, which is pretty good. So, counterblast Soul Blast 1. Choose a face-down card from your G-Zone and turn it face up. If you have a heart with Ridiculous in its card name, choose one of your units. Search your deck for up to 1 card with the same card name as that unit. Call it to rearguard. Shuffle your deck. Choose up to 4 units with the same card name as that unit, and they get plus 5,000 power. And then if you have the original face-up, she gets a crit.
Nope.
No, she doesn't? Oh, no, that. That's the skill for if you have a copy of it face-up, the original face-up. If you have a unit with the same card name as this unit on your rearguard, this unit gets plus a crit. There we go. Next, we have 2 Flower Princes of Balmy Breeze Imitar. So once per turn, another counterblast. Counterblast 1, choose a face-on card of it, copy of itself. From your G-Zone, turn it face up, choose up to one of your units, and that unit has the Bloom ability. Draw a card, choose up to 6 units with the same card name as that unit, which are chosen by her own effect. And until end of turn, they get Vanguard Rearguard. When you see an attack gets a Vanguard, draw a card. And if you have 3 or more units with the Bloom ability, it gets a crit. That's the G-Guards. Next, we have 1 Primavera. I personally don't like this card. It's too cost heavy. So its skill is on attack, counterblast 3. Choose 5 normal units from your drop zone. And shuffle them back into your deck. Choose 2 of your rearguards. And search your deck for up to 2 copies of it and call them to rearguard. Yeah, not very good. I got that effect right. 1 of the new GR. It's really good. It has the. It also returns 5 cards, but which it is an act, which is really nice. So it's Soul Blast 1. Choose 5 normal units from your rearguard and drop zone, and return them to your deck and shuffle your deck. If you return 5, countercharge 1 and unflip 1. And Counterblast 1, it's really good. You choose a card from your hand and discard it. So when a unit is placed on the rearguard, if you have something else that's in card name as it, and it has the Bloom ability, you select the card that you called, add 2 copies of it from your deck to your hand, and that's all it does. So, but it goes off every time you call a unit, and that's GB2. And next we have 1 Multi-Vital Dragon. When you're at a unit with the same card name as it is placed on the rearguard, the unit gets plus 5k. Next, we have 2 Sacred Tree Dragon, Rain Breath Dragon. When this unit is placed on guard, choose up to one of your cards from your hand called to rearguard, and that unit gets resist. And if you call a card, it gets plus FK. Next, God, these fucking so long. When this unit is placed on, next we have 1 Flower Princess of Autumn Scenery Verna. When this unit is placed on guard, choose up to one of your rearguards, and they get plus 5. And choose up to one of your rearguards, and she gets plus 5,000 for every copy of it with the same card name. And then we have then we have 1 Flower Princess Marlena. So if you have 2 cards with Ridiculous in its card name on your rearguard and Vanguard, I'm assuming no rearguard. She gets plus 15,000 shield, and then if you have 3 units of the same card name as well, she'll also get plus 15,000 shield. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the deck report. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and to rate, comment, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.